Hey you guys, I am back with another video, and today I want to talk about the whole Ashley and Tyler situation that is still going on. Literally, this season of Love is Blind has been drawn out to May because we have Tyler still going to court, and apparently that's still allegedly pending, according to Storytime with Rikki and Reality Ashley and their podcast. I have a lot to say. So I feel as though, like, when this podcast came out this morning, there was just so much. I think this podcast episode that AD had attracted millions of viewers. I think not millions, but like thousands of viewers in just the spam of like this morning. And I think like just my morning was so dramatic, just seeing everything unfold between Reality Ashley, between Ashley from Love is Blind speaking about the truth, breaking her silence, AD being the host on the podcast. And then also you had Storytime with Rikki talking about how, she was offended that Ashley and AD were throwing shade at her and TheJessieWoo. And I did see that shade being thrown, and I already knew it was going to be something that I already knew Storytime with Rikki I already knew that Rikki would catch on to this and she was going to say something about this. But I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about this. Now, I honestly just don't like the fact how TheJessieWoo and Rikki keep on saying that they're going to clap back at AD. TheJessieWoo, she did write a review to, she sent AD a DM. And I was watching the Reality Receipts podcast, and Storytime with Rikki got a DM from TheJessieWoo saying she sent a mean DM to AD. And honestly, I'm just TheJessieWoo and Storytime with Rikki better speak on how they felt. TheJessieWoo and Storytime with Rikki better clap back tonight, because if they don't clap back tonight, then this they literally I think this is gonna look bad on their part. Honestly, I feel like everybody is just in the wrong in this situation. Let's just start off with Ashley speaking on the podcast. Now, honestly, I feel as though the season happened months ago. So it's just the fact, I feel as though it's a little bit wrong for the fact that people are still coming at Ashley. But however, I do see where viewers are coming for. This whole thing is making me so conflicted, but I do see where viewers are coming from, because they're Ashley never really took accountability for those kids and the way how she acted towards those three children. She had no sympathy for these three children. And I think she said one apology on the podcast, but she didn't seem apologetic enough of the fact that she kind of defended Tyler abandoning these kids. And I kind of knew this was coming. I'm actually shocked that Ashley and Tyler, they did divorce. Ashley on the podcast was saying how, she was ripping Tyler a new one every single day. And, she, just was the house was just emotionally broken. It went from her and Tyler being happy. And I think Ashley said that she found out Tyler's lies through his computer. She just searched his computer and she just found, Tyler's lies and found out that he was just a pathological liar through, opening his computer and basically reading all of Tyler's reading all of Tyler's Google Meets on his computer. Honestly, I am so the internet is saying that Ashley could have easily saw Storytime with Ashley easily could have researched this whole Tyler situation with the whole sperm donor, and saw all of Storytime with Rikki's videos and the TheJessieWoo's videos, and the lawyer that TheJessieWoo was working with, about looking up Tyler's background of just how bad of a person he was, how much debt he was in, how financially irresponsible he was at the age of 30. And so for me, I honestly don't blame that it took Ashley so long to find out that hold on, y'all. Anyways, y'all, I hate being a YouTuber, but anyways, Yeah, no. So you basically had Ashley saying how, like, she was going on the computer and she was looking at Tyler's, she found Google Meet chats from Tyler. Now, however, I feel as though Ashley could have saved herself earlier. Like, she really was sticking beside Tyler. I honestly, now that I'm getting older and I feel as though I'm like kind of like understanding like how marriage is, like, I'm a person who's like, I don't know, as someone who is like looking, like, who watches the show, like who watches a lot of shows about marriage, I honestly understand where Ashley is coming from, because it was kind of really hard for her to let go of Tyler because Tyler was giving her so much reassurance. But however, I feel as though at the same time Ashley could have saved herself, because she literally like this was around when Storytime with Rikki was just putting a bunch of just news out about Tyler, how bad he was, how much he owed in child support. Even JessieWoo and like the lawyer that she was working with on her channel was saying like, yeah, Ashley can't even get a house because, Tyler, like, something's like, because of his, like, Tyler, like, he's just financially responsible. And then also like, Tyler was sleeping on Ashley's couch because, she gave him a 30-day notice. So Ashley dumped him and he was sleeping on Ashley's couch. So I feel as though Ashley actually could have saved herself from day one, because when the show came out, like, I would say like, when the first batch of episodes of season 7 came out, Ashley, Storytime with Rikki, sorry, I'm getting the names mixed up now, but Storytime with Rikki came out with all this information, and you even had, like, I think either Bree reach out to Ashley. So it was just like, there was multiple people warning, like, Ashley, like, yo, look, like, you might want to reconsider Tyler, like, you might want to get a divorce, like, you could still save yourself, Ashley. And, Ashley married Tyler at the altar. And so for me, I feel as though, yeah, Ashley really could have saved herself from just day one. And so for me, I feel as though Ashley was just afraid to kind of like break up with him. I didn't really see them divorcing. Like, Ashley was she was sitting beside Tyler, but I'm just like, I feel as though Ashley could have easily found out Tyler's lies just from watching JessieWoo's YouTube channel and Storytime with Rikki's YouTube channel, her TikToks, because even JessieWoo was like, talking about Ashley on her platform. And, you had Ashley posting stories on her Instagram about JessieWoo mentioning her on her channel. So I'm just like, if Ashley saw, like, how much JessieWoo was talking about her on her podcast, then why couldn't maybe Ashley reach out to JessieWoo and Storytime with Rikki? Because, they were working together, and, why couldn't she DM the both of them and been like, hey, like, okay, so, like, what about Tyler? Like, I feel as though Ashley could have maybe talked to Storytime with Rikki and JessieWoo. I feel as though Ashley could have sent out a DM to Rikki and been like, okay, so, like, what is going on about, like, what did you find about Tyler? And, like, just found out the truth just from Rikki. Like, just by having a DM with Rikki and like, knowing, like, this is the truth. But however, I'm gonna say this. I feel as though Ashley at the time was just like, you know what? I'm not going to let someone else decide whether or not I can stay married with this man. I think Ashley wanted to make the decision for herself to break up with Tyler and to divorce Tyler. I think Ashley wanted this decision to save it for herself, to make her own decision. I think that Ashley didn't want advice. And so that's why on the podcast, Ashley's like, and did stick with a deadbeat and did stand beside a deadbeat. And so for me, I'm actually kind of shocked about all this. So yeah, like, there was just all this tea coming out, and I think Ashley just didn't want to believe it. Like, she still stuck beside Tyler and whatnot. And so that, like, Tyler, so Ashley finally sees, like, like, Tyler is a liar. Now, I don't know how much this messed up Ashley, but I think, like, Ashley kind of saved, like, Ashley's saying, like, how people will be staying in this marriage for like 20 plus years, but she got out of this marriage in a year. I'm gonna just say this, like, Ashley might just be a little bit delusional, because, I feel as though there was just warnings and there was just multiple signs from just day one that, like, yeah, this man wasn't for you. And so I feel as though, like, if she just would have like took story time with Rikki and JessieWoo's word, I feel as though she wouldn't be having a divorce right now. Like she wouldn't be having a divorce right now. I think she could have like been saved significantly. So I'm just kind of afraid how like this impacts Ashley also financially as well. Like I really want to see what else is coming. But yeah, I feel as though like Ashley could have had a chance to speak with JessieWoo and Rikki and been like, hey, look, like this is what happened, X, Y, and Z, this is what happened. And then, you know, she could have spoken her case, her side of the story. And then maybe Ashley could have been shocked and be like, oh wait, like Tyler is a liar. Wait, what? He lied about this? Wait, I didn't see that. And I think Ashley could have found out so much more about Tyler through JessieWoo and Storytime with Rikki instead of looking through Tyler's computer and looking at all his Google Meets and looking at all his chats and stuff like that. Now, Ashley and Tyler, Ashley and AD on What's the Reality podcast, they did call out Storytime with Rikki and JessieWoo. And Storytime with Rikki on her podcast with Reality, Ashley was saying how, like, you know, AD was mostly coming for JessieWoo. And honestly, for me, I feel as though this whole situation is just like tit for tat. I have to say, like, this whole situation is just tit for tat because I honestly like AD and Ashley calling out Rikki and JessieWoo. I feel as though like it's just very much tit for tat because when I would watch JessieWoo's videos, when AD's season of Love is Blind season 6 came out in Charlotte, JessieWoo was like going in on AD a lot as well when her season came out of Love is Blind season 6, you know, with her and Clay and all that stuff and her getting dumped, you know. So, and then also like when AD got engaged by Ali, and we saw that from Love is Blind season 8, you had JessieWoo now rooting for AD and coming back and clap and talking to the audience and be like, you know, I don't understand how y'all just hate AD. I think some people are just jealous of AD. And so for me, I feel as though like pick a side. Like, do you not stand with AD as just a reality TV podcast host and just a reality television celebrity, or do you not stand with AD? So I feel as though I'm kind of confused on like how much AD is like upset with how much JessieWoo is upset with AD, you know, throwing shade at her. And then you had Storytime with Rikki just being like just kind of like shocked. And, you know, I kind of find it funny that like AD kind of did throw some shade at Rikki and JessieWoo when, like, you know, for the most part, Rikki especially was rooting for AD. Like Rikki was rooting for AD with her engagement and all with her engagement with Ali. You know, she was just sending AD love. Like she was sending AD lots of love. And so like I just feel like, though, for me, if I was in AD's shoes and I was hosting the podcast, I wouldn't really throw shade. If, like, you know, Rikki redeemed her. Like Rikki, not like if I have people who actually are a fan with me, it's like, I don't know, like I feel as though I didn't really get how AD threw shade at Storytime with Rikki when, like, you know, Rikki with like Storytime with Rikki had a podcast, and, you know, she was rooting for AD. Like for the most part, JessieWoo and Storytime with Rikki, they were both rooting for AD. Like, you know, they were both clapping for AD. But then sometimes I do also see JessieWoo throwing jabs at AD. So I mean, honestly, if she's really coming for JessieWoo, then I mean, like, I feel as though JessieWoo and AD need to go work it out through the Instagram DMs and be like, hey, look, so like, this is what I said about you. This is what I said about you. Like, kind of work it out. But I'm honestly kind of shocked. Like, I never thought. But then also, like, I do see JessieWoo. Like, she do be having a little bit of like rivals with like Love is Blind Netflix reality stars. Like, she do be having some rivals with people from Love is Blind and like on like people who are on the Love is Blind universe. And it's kind of funny because like she was also on a reality show as well, which is called Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So it's just like, as a former reality TV person, I feel like if I was a person who came from reality television and I kind of understand what is meant for me to be on reality television, I wouldn't really be throwing jabs or any shade at other reality television stars as well. But I sometimes do get it, like as a reality TV star reviewer, sometimes you might throw like a little bit of shade and jabs at, reality stars. And sometimes I feel as though 80 didn't really have to take it personal though when it comes to like JessieWoo and Storytime with Rikki partnering up and, just spreading out all this tea about Tyler and Ashley, because Ashley was the one who started all this. Like, Ashley was the one who started all this. When Ashley was on the Viall Files podcast, she was throwing mad shade at Rikki, and when she could have just sent the DM to Rikki, like, she could have just sent the DM to Rikki and be like, hey, Rikki, like, I want to know more of what's going on, so that, maybe Tyler is not the person for me. Maybe I do need to divorce Tyler. So I feel as though Ashley just started all of this. And so for me, like, Ashley calling Rikki a TikTok journalist, you had Ashley calling Rikki you had Ashley just calling, throwing shade at Rikki and be like, what, who knows me? Is it social media or me? So like at the reunion, I feel as though Ashley threw shade at Rikki and been like, who has more information than me or social media? So I feel as though like Ashley could have just straight up said, just like what Rikki said on her podcast with Reality Ashley, I feel like that Ashley should just straight up said like, hey, look, you know what? The internet and Storytime with Rikki had more information than me actually. Like, I feel as though Ashley was delusional, and I think Ashley's just playing victim because I think Ashley, like, Ashley never gave, like, she had more information than the internet because Tyler was lying to her 24/7. So it's just like, you're sleeping next to a man who's constantly lying to you. Then how do you expect to have more information than the public? And then also you had Ashley, like, I think reaching out to her mother and be like, what, am I sleeping with the enemy? And, she was just crying out to the wolves. So I feel as though, Ashley, she was also like, on the floor. Ashley also mentioned on 80's podcast, like, what, like, she was on the floor, crying out to Jesus to like, help her. And so for me, I feel as though even Jesus warned you, Ashley, like, not to stick beside Tyler. So I feel as though for me, Ashley and AD owe Storytime with Rikki and TheJessieWoo an apology of like them throwing jabs and shade at the both of them. But then also Storytime with Rikki and JessieWoo, they better be like clapping back, like they better do a review together. Like, I don't care, like they better do a review together. But then I'm hearing a lot of back and forth. Like, I'm hearing that like, JessieWoo is going to like review the podcast, and she's also going to be like defending herself with AD's especially throwing shade at her, and Ashley throwing shade at her. And then because I think AD was the one who like kind of started throwing shade at JessieWoo especially, and Rikki. But then I also was hearing in the comments of this other guy's YouTube channel called Little Black Book 91 that, JessieWoo is not reviewing like this whole podcast anymore. And then when I was watching Storytime with Rikki's podcast called Reality Receipts, with Reality Ashley, she was saying like, what, let's just move on and like let's review The Ultimatum, let's review Love Island and Perfect Match. But I'm just like, so are they going to review this podcast or are they not? Are they going to clap back at AD and Ashley or not? Like, I honestly do not know what's up, but I'm ready for Rikki and JessieWoo to like kind of partner up and talk about just all this mess that just happened this morning, like with the whole podcast. Now, don't get me wrong, like I love AD's podcast, but I don't know, I feel as though her interviewing Ashley did kind of break her a little bit. But honestly, at the end of the day, like I think that this is gonna just all blow over. But like, if JessieWoo and Rikki do not like kind of like make a review of this and they don't kind of like clap back, then it's just like they're kind of to me then it's just kind of giving like tit for tat, like they kind of like just did all that for nothing. Like, I'm expecting a response out of this from the Jessie Woo and Rikki. Like, I've been waiting. I've been waiting for a response. I've been refreshing Jessie Woo's YouTube channel to see, like, okay, what are they gonna say? What are they both going to say about this whole mess? That just transpired. This morning. Like, what is going to be said? Anyways, I am done with this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Also, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye bye and toodles.